that. And will it rival ChatGPT? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to see. I'm also going to show you a cool way that I use ChatGPT this week that you might find really interesting, like a real world example. I think y'all might think is cool. Maybe not. We'll find out. And did you know there's a brand new Instagram editing app? And we're going to discuss that plus some other news and strategies and things that will help you work smarter, not harder. Hey, everybody. I'm Madeline Sklar. If you don't already know who I am, welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I've been in the digital marketing space for nearly 30 years now, and also teaching social media for the last 20. What I do is pretty simple. I help business owners and entrepreneurs who feel overwhelmed by social media and AI and are struggling to keep up with it all. What I do is I break it down so it's easy to understand. So that's what we do here each week in this live stream. We also have some guests here, our panelists. Welcome, ladies. These are members of our awesome community who I always appreciate coming here with us and joining and being part of the discussion. Would y'all like to introduce yourselves real quick? Oh, y'all are muted.
I was like, where's the darn button? Barb, go ahead.
I'm Barb Tomlin, known as Barb T USA on all the social networks, and I'm a really, really OG, older than Madeline, and met her a long time ago on MySpace.
Yes, the MySpace days.
Yes, back in the MySpace days. I'm getting so garbled now, but I, like Madeline, I'm always jumping in and using the latest tools. I've been using ChatGPT since 2022, and I'm really excited about what's transpiring in the AI world, especially now that I'm older, because, you know, my avatars can live a lot longer than I can.
And I love your avatars. I love the one you have up today. It's so nice. I love that yours are always smiling, and it just always just that nice warm feeling when we look at your avatar. So
thank you. That, I mean, those are it really does look like me, but when I was 50, and I really did look that good when I was 50. Sorry, we won't go there now.
I understand. Well, I appreciate you coming and joining us, Barb. It's always great having your expert insights in these discussions each week. And we also got Rachel here. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, guys. I missed you. It's been a couple weeks.
I know. It's weird.
So I've been really using a lot to help me create proposals. And I used Gamma to take one of my proposals and put it into that PNG or PDF format. And the person I sent it to, he was like, whoa, this is so amazing. So I love using those products, you know, whether it's Magi or ChatGPT or Gamma, for things that are helping me as a business person. Now, there is a lot of, you know, stuff that we don't have to get into right this second, but what I'm seeing is for people who don't use any AI, I think a lot of times it's because they have some kind of ethical problem with it and don't want to even try to see how it could potentially help them. So I tell writers, you know, don't use it to write your books unless you want to, and then you have to be transparent and label that. But use it to do other things, marketing, blogging, newsletters, help you format posts, create SEO optimized headlines, like all of those things that we do as writers for our author platform can be aided by using the AI. So I don't want people to be afraid of it.
I agree with you 100%. I think AI is something that can really enhance your work, and that's what I use it for. I don't have it just go to town and write things for me and put my name on it and like, let me post this. But it for me personally, it's like my invisible assistant sitting right here next to me. I can't see them, but they're in my head because I talk to them through Magi, through ChatGPT, the AI tools, Gamma. I love Gamma. I'm going to be talking about Gamma today because I've been using it and I'm so glad I found that a while back and showed everybody here. And that's why I bring us together, because we learn from each other. I'm always coming across interesting things with social media, interesting AI tools. It's fun that we come together here each week to talk about it, and you all share your thoughts of things that I find, but then y'all discover things as well and bring it to the table. And I just love that it's just always a fun hour of learning and sharing here, and how we can help each other in business. And it's always great having you both here. I don't know if any of our other panelists will be here today, but it's all good. We do have another hangout place besides this weekly live stream. It's called the School Platform, SKOOL, and I have a home for us there that I just called the same thing as this live stream, social media and AI shortcuts. So this is a place you can go if you want to be able to continue our discussions beyond this live stream. You can sign up. It's free. Go to school.com/Madeline Sklar. But yeah, it's just, and I know I haven't been posting a lot over there. I just, life happens and I'm always so darn busy, but I'm going to try to get some more posts, especially with all the latest stuff I've been coming across. Some really interesting stuff we're going to be looking at today, but y'all feel free to come join us at school. It's a really great place to just be connected with each other. Y'all may have noticed I'm wearing a really cool new t-shirt today, Magi. This is not sponsored. This is not a sponsored ad, but you can order them through, Dustin finally had merch for sale. So I bought a t-shirt.
That.
I bought
That's
the t-shirt.
great.
Well, every time he does it, like whenever he's come here to chat with us, he always has this shirt on. I've seen him in interviews with a lot of different creators and doing different, AI type interviews. He always has this shirt on. And I'm like, how do you score one of those shirts? So they finally made them available for sale. And I finally got it. And I'm like, I'm going to proudly wear it today because I love it. I love supporting the work he does. I've known him a long time. He's created some really great apps and tools that I've used over the years. But when he came up with Magi a few years ago, when ChatGPT was first getting started, I was like, okay, this could be a real game changer. And I'll put up the link on here for Magi if anybody here has not checked it out. I talk about it all the time here, but let me just quickly show y'all, because this is something I use every day. I love using ChatGPT every day, and I love using Magi every day. And I use them kind of separately, and I'm going to explain how I've been, like my system, which is going to be different from other people, but I have a whole system in place I've been using for this. But Magi is a great all-in-one tool. As you can see on here, it literally has 30, more than 30 now, but like 30 different AI tools all in one place. And that's what I love about this, is that I can use I can have this one place and I can use ChatGPT. I can use Claude. Oh, I want to do an image. Let me do Leonardo or DALL-E. And it's like, there's Gemini, so much you can do with this tool. And if you haven't tried this out, definitely for $20 a month, it is so worth it, because you have the flexibility of all of these. Even has Perplexity. I use so many of these different tools. Even has Grok from X, formerly Twitter. They have Grok in there now. And they're always updating this and adding more tools. And as it says right here, it says, I'll highlight that, separately, you'd be paying $250 a month for all of these tools right here. But with Magi all in one, you can get it for as little as $20 a month. And they have two different plans. I'm on the $20 a month plan, and I get so much out of it. And I really love doing this. And if you have a team and you want to have more usage with it, then there is $40 a month. So I feel like it's very reasonably priced. And so I want to share like how I've been doing this. And I'm curious to hear from you ladies, how you're utilizing AI tools. So ChatGPT, y'all know, came out several years back. And Magi, Dustin started Magi pretty early on when ChatGPT was fairly new. And at the time, I liked ChatGPT, but I just remember the interface was so blah. Do y'all remember how that interface first started? It was just so blah, so plain. You couldn't really organize things. Every time I did a chat, I'd have a hard time finding, the one I did from a month ago, and had to really scroll through to find it. And I was like, gosh, it'd be nice if this was a more organized tool. And then here comes Magi. And it really took the great things about ChatGPT, but made it more streamlined and more organized. And it had folders. So you can I can sit here and say, okay, I'm gonna have a folder of just this specific thing that I'm working on. So I can separate it. Rachel, are you typing? I definitely hear it's like type.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'll mute you. So I've got this system I've been using now with this. And what I do is I've been using Magi all these years now, love it. And they've been growing as more tools come out. When Magi first started, it was just ChatGPT, but it was just a more organized way of using ChatGPT. And I fell in love with this, so I paid the monthly fee. To me, it was worth it, even though ChatGPT was free at the time. They just had the free plan. Magi to me was worth paying for because it just kept growing as AI tools were growing, and it just got better and better and better. And then all of a sudden, they're adding Claude, and then they add Gemini, and this and that, and then they started adding all those image generators. And it's like, wait a minute, I can go into this one tool, and I can start a ChatGPT discussion. And then let's say I want to do an image, and I can change it from ChatGPT to DALL-E or to Leonardo, and now have it create an image. And then wait a minute, now I want to talk about something and open up Grok. It's all like it's one screen, one chat, and I have all this flexibility, which I think is pretty darn amazing. But here's where things got a little different for me. So I've been doing this for years now, the whole Magi. And I've talked about this here plenty in this live stream. If for those that have been here each week, you've already know I've talked about this. If anybody here is new, you can go back to some of the older live streams, the replays over on YouTube. And what I did was an experiment with ChatGPT Plus, the $20 a month plan. This was months back, when they came out with the audio feature. And y'all have seen me on here where, I bring my phone up and I can talk into it and have it talk right back to me, right? I've got videos on my YouTube with all of that, if anybody here hadn't seen it. And it's this interaction. You feel like you're talking to a person, a real person. And I'm having this interaction, and it's mind-blowing for me. So I started paying the $20 a month. In addition to Magi, $20 a month, I was doing the ChatGPT $20 a month as an experiment. And I was only going to do it for a month, but just to see, is this worth having that audio feature? And while Magi has incorporated like this voice integration with ChatGPT, it's not the full version you get if you're paying the $20 a month of ChatGPT directly. So I was like, after a month of this, I'm like, I think I'm going to keep going, because I think I'll just pay for both, because I'm really liking that anytime I can just tap the button and say, hey, chat, I have a question for you. Or, hey, chat, what do you think of this idea I have? And just have this interaction, because I love to brainstorm. And I'm the kind of, I don't know if y'all are like me, I'm the kind of person where if somebody's with me, I can just start brainstorming. They don't even have to say anything, but I can just go, what do you think of this? And I'll be 100 miles an hour, right? And I'm like, man, I just thought of like 10 great new ideas. And half the time the person with me didn't even have to say anything. They were just there to listen. And so I feel like ChatGPT doing the audio feature, I just get a lot of great ideas, a lot of great interactions, a lot of great brainstorming. So I've continued to pay the $20 a month for it. But here's what's so interesting. In that process, ChatGPT, the site, knows so much about me, and their memory has improved dramatically in the last year, and really more recently, like in the last month or two. So it knows so much about my thoughts, my business, my passion project that I also do. Like, it knows everything. So at any given time, I can just start up a conversation. It knows all my past, probably hundreds of conversations we've already had. With Magi, you got to understand, even though Magi has all those tools, it's on a different server, a private server, by the way. So if anybody's concerned about your AI tool, I know we've talked about what was the one, DeepSeek and all, China and the servers, everything Dustin does. He's very concerned about privacy for the customers, and so all the tools are private. They're on separate servers. But the thing is that if I want to continue my discussion about something I've already had past conversations about, and I go do it over Magi with ChatGPT, I'm only talking about ChatGPT, it doesn't know all those conversations because it's not in that memory. And maybe I'll get Dustin to come on here sometime and talk about, because I wonder, do y'all find, is that an interesting topic to y'all, about the whole, like, the memory of it? And if you spend a lot of time talking to one of these AI tools, wherever you're doing it, that's where it knows everything. But if you go do it somewhere else, like a third-party tool like Magi, is that something that y'all have ever run into or are concerned about?
For me, it wasn't until we were talking about this that I even knew there was a setting in ChatGPT where I could make it private or temporary, right? Which is super important for anyone who's publishing content online, right? One of the things that makes it interesting for me, and I started using Magi from you talking about it, and it's exactly what you said. You can be in one and then say, now make a photo out of it, now make a video out of it, this, that, and the other, and you can play with it. So I think a lot of times, at least for me, I've had to learn how to create the prompts in a way that it's going to come back to me with the information that I need. So I'm sorry for the typing, but I wanted to get this in here. I learned this week 3 prompts that will do so much work for an author. Can I go ahead and share them?
Yeah, for sure.
And
Absolutely.
I can put them in school too. So number 1, upload the PDF of a book. And if it's in Magi, it's not going to get shared anywhere. So, or used to train, right? So I feel safe there. So give me a summary of the book in 2 to 3 paragraphs. If you have a PDF, great. If you don't, just put the URL on Amazon and it'll pull it from there. Extract 10 compelling SEO-friendly quotes of 1 to 2 sentences long, because anything longer is difficult to see on a thumbnail. And 3, create 10 engaging Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them posts with appropriate hashtags and formatting. And 30 seconds later, that's done.
Wow.
Like, amazing. And that's one of the things I think that authors and content creators may not understand, and that might be something we can talk about, is how to create the prompts that work for what you need. This was so eye-opening for me.
And we're on different industries. So yeah, that like you're able to make that work very industry specific.
Yes. Yeah. You could do it for anything,
of course. Yeah.
Service, a book, music, whatever you want. But that to me was eye-opening. I understand a lot of people talk about prompts, but I didn't really understand how that applied to me and what I'm doing. Now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can even go into ChatGPT or one of those various AI tools and have it help you make prompts. Like I've done that. I've gone to ChatGPT and I said, I need your help creating a prompt for an image I'm trying to create, and just working through it. And even in Magi, they have all these different. I know they have like I'm trying to think what it's called. I'd have to go in and look, but first of all, they have like all these different personas in there, but they have one specifically called prompt generator to help you create prompts, which I think is so interesting. Yeah, it says prompt generator helps you craft better chat prompts. So like you can go into Magi and use that as a persona, so it's already programmed to help you make better prompts. And that's so interesting. Yeah.
That's amazing. And where I think it could be really helpful is for authors who can't afford to hire somebody to help with their social media, like what I do. They can do this themselves and create it and then schedule it in somewhere, and Bob's your uncle. So just wanted to share that.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, since we're talking about ChatGPT at the moment, I want to go ahead and mention this really cool real life example of how I used it this week. And it was just something I randomly thought of. It's like, let me use ChatGPT. So I had to get some work done on my car this week. So I have to go to the dealership for it. And it was a bit pricey. And I'm asking like, okay, so why are y'all needing to do this? Like, I thought I just needed this one to explain to me. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. Okay. And because it's the dealership, they have the records from the previous owners. So I did it all. And then it like dawned on me, like, let me have a chat with ChatGPT about this, and let me take a picture of the invoice. So this was so freaking cool. So inside my ChatGPT, now of course I can do some Magi, but like I said earlier, if it's ChatGPT, I do it inside of ChatGPT. Everything else I do inside of Magi, because ChatGPT like has all this memory now. So I literally took pictures of the end. It was 3 pages of the invoice. I literally took pictures of it. upload, because you can just hit the little plus and upload files. So I said that I had questions. I'm going to attach copies of the service that was done. Can you help me decipher it? It's like, sure. So I explained about my car, and I just wanted to tell me, like, were all of these things that needed to be done, just like verify with me. And so based on what I showed it tells me like what service was done and why it matters. Because I wanted to be sure, like, is this something I really need to have done? I knew I needed the oil change, but I really need a brake fluid exchange. But they're telling me, yeah, every 2 years you need to have it done, blah, blah, blah. So and that was the biggest cost with all this week, was the brake fluid exchange here, right? So it's telling me why it matters, about how brake fluid absorbs moisture over time. It can reduce braking effectiveness and lead to corrosion. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Is it needed? Yes. I have a Mini Cooper. Minis recommend brake fluid replacement every 2 years, regardless of mileage. You were overdue, so absolutely was the right call. I'm like, wow. Okay, that's good to know. And it did the same thing with all the items that were done. It kind of breaks down and basically was letting me know that it says nothing was unnecessary or a red flag. Then it continues. It says moving forward, it wanted to give me a little timeline here of like upcoming. So it's letting me know, like, with the service, the frequency, and the next date estimated, telling me oil change, next year, brake fluid flush in 2 years, April 2027. It's giving me this breakdown. I'm like, holy cow. And then it's like, now it wants to, like, give me a paragraph of like, was all this needed? Yes, you need to have these things done, blah, blah, blah. Then it says, and y'all, this is just ChatGPT. I asked it way up here to break down the invoice, all this stuff. Then it says, would you like a printable 1-page maintenance tracker you can use going forward?
Right.
I'm like, really? But I'm thinking, where did my page go? I was thinking, oh, but that would I have to, like, I'm asking, I said, yeah, that'd be very helpful. Thank you. Can you send me a reminder when I need those other services? But I'm thinking I need to set up as a task. ChatGPT has a task feature now, right? And I've used the task feature. I like it a lot. And I thought, okay, I probably have to go set up a task. So I asked it. And also, by the way, it's saved up here. It's saved in the memory, this whole discussion, because I'm telling it, yes, please send me a reminder. So it's saved in the memory to send me reminders. So I asked it, do I need to set this up as a ChatGPT task, or can you notify me directly from this discussion? It says I do not need to set up a ChatGPT. Now, I'm not 100% like, we shall see, because the ChatGPT task feature, which I don't know if the free account, I'm on the plus account, that's $20 a month. I know it started as a paid feature. I'm not 100% sure if that's available for free, but you can set up these tasks. It will send you a little email reminder if it's something you want each day, each week, whatever. You can have it do all kinds of things. I have it help me with my daily to-do list. So every morning it will contact me and be like, okay, what's on your to-do list? Let me help you set it up for the day. And I ask it in addition to give me some motivation. So I love it. I have this whole little setup and I love it. It helps me tremendously. So anyway, it's telling me that it doesn't have to technically set up a task. It says that it will send me reminders. It'll give me a heads up a month before each service is due. And it'll send the reminder right here in the regular chat. No setup needed. So we'll see if it really does. I still think I probably need to set up a task. But I am so impressed that this was just this, hey, why don't I ask ChatGPT? Let me chat the invoice and the breakdown of all the service done, and just let me know, like, was all this service needed? Here's the make and model of my car. Here's what the dealership told me. And so I don't know. Do y'all find that interesting? Hi, Bez. Good to see you. Does this give y'all ideas of like, oh,
nice to be here.
Does it give you ideas like, oh, I didn't think to ask GPT something like that?
Totally. Would not have
I've been doing that because I've been so concerned about the engagement going down. My thing is about online community and all these Facebook groups, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And so I brought my communities clear back from the BBS days. So a lot of these people have retired now, but over 50% of my friends on Facebook are either the parents or grandparents and then the children of in hot air ballooning. So that group is pretty active. And so just yesterday, and it was like I was fooling around and I couldn't get to sleep. And so I actually talked to it and I said, this is my problem in my groups. Nobody's getting engagement. I need to have some help. And asked if it could help me write some prompts. But it was like it knew, because of what it had gathered, this information of all these other people saying, how do I get engagement? It actually came back to me and gave me a whole plan and did just like what at the end of yours where you saw the summary, and gave me a whole, strategy for special days to put special things in. And the biggest thing that happened, I have a post that's it's not 24 hours old and has had over 2,000 reactions and like hundreds of comments to, and it is text on just their colored background on Facebook. So I know it works. I was sold and I'm eager to get with, Thursday is my day for live streaming and I had lots of commitments and I thought, boy, when I get back to that, it's exactly what I'm going to do, just what you showed. But I love what you just showed from the standpoint, especially for women who are living alone and you don't have that consultant. But also, I've been married for 50 years and I'm married to a CPA and it's like, well, eventually he's not going to be able to put all those numbers together. What am I going to do? And sorry, Bess, but you just kind of, he did marry a younger woman. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to open up a new series about what if I'm alone? What happens? Yeah. And so it's been quite an education and it's certainly more stimulating than, watching a movie on Amazon and so forth. And it does, like you said about knowing, it's been able to upgrade its memory. Well, I started writing a memoir 2 years ago and, it was exciting. And I thought, I couldn't stop long enough. So much was happening with technology and so forth. I couldn't take care of me. And, I asked ChatGPT if it could draw back to that. And sure enough, it told me my story from 2 years ago in summary. It said, let's get, and encouraging me, let's get with it. I'm ready to roll, the enthusiastic approach. But the other thing, Madeline, because you're also using StreamYard, and we tested here in one of your lives about bringing it in as a screen share, and we were asking questions. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we can, after I did this thing today, because I thought I'm going to have my morning coffee with ChatGPT, and I'm going to use one of my live streaming tools to have that with and ask ChatGPT about that live streaming tool I'm using and why there's no engagement or who's using this and that. And it was fascinating. But it dawned on me that with this particular tool, we can also set up a free account. And I think we can use ChatGPT's voice with and have the icon so that it can be a vibrating icon, like when you're speaking. And do it that way, which would be even more, because I know from working with all of the psychologists and so forth on this technology stuff, that from the visual appearance does hold people's attention a lot longer. Right. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's move on to the whole new thing we keep hearing about, Meta AI. They have this new app, and Barb over on our school platform, Barb was kind enough to send a link to this. It's a video. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I'm going to play this for y'all because this is going to tell us a bit about this new Meta AI app.
Playlist, like feeling like the main character while driving. This is the new Meta AI app and it just launched. It's built on Llama 4 and has a voice experience. What is cool though is I can start here on my phone, then switch over to Meta AI on my laptop and keep going. Okay, now the web version has this little canvas where you can edit, code, write. It feels really flexible. And one of my favorite things is the Discover tab where you can see what other people are building. I fell down a rabbit hole of people making AI-generated planners, travel guides, random projects. Seeing what other people are prompting has actually inspired new ideas for me. Like this one here, generating pixel art of Chicago. I remixed this to modify the styling of it, but was inspired by the original prompt. Okay, back to my main playlist prompt. I worked with Meta AI to build the ultimate main character stuck in traffic playlist. And I think it did a really good job. What do you think? This might be my favorite AI app I've used so far. When you try it, remix my prompt. I want to see what ideas you come up with.
Okay. So what do y'all think? I mean, have y'all been hearing about this new Meta AI tool? Because I've heard about the last few days. I know it's just, I haven't downloaded it yet on my phone, but looking at what we just watched, when they're talking about I can start on my phone and move to the site, like, yeah, ChatGPT does that. Magi does that.
Okay, well, let me know when you want me to talk, because I've got a
Yeah,
lot
give me
to
your
tell you
thoughts.
on
'Cause,
that.
yeah, well, you're like the Meta expert here, so share your
Well, so
thoughts.
here's the thing, because I'm in one of their programs where I talk with their developers and stuff. And just yesterday we were in a stream that, that person who is an expert in using that was there. And here's what I got to say about my personal experience. I signed on with the phone app for the first time on the 29th of April. And I was using the Meta there. If you look from your laptop, you'll see on the left on your screens when you're logged into Facebook, there'll be that same circle and says Meta AI on it. And that's what she's talking about there. And I had been using that one, testing it for about 3 days, maybe it was a day before, 2 days before, something like that. And I wasn't thinking about it. But when I got on my phone, the first thing I saw flash by was it has all of your financial information now. So, yeah, right. I was like, wake up. And then I have another a fellow admin that's in that program, and he shared the screen of how much they're taking from your privacy. And I'm going to put that in your school community.
Okay, that'd be
that
great.
Screenshot, because it's too detailed. And that's another reason why you want to get into Madeline's community, because this is not the thing you want to have on Facebook platform, because it's picking up everything we say. So you have to be very cautious. I mean, you have to think about what you're doing with the Meta AI. And frankly, I didn't go back into it after yesterday again. I've only logged into it once from the phone. And then the other time I used it, I was not as pleased with the images it built with the same kind of prompt as I was with ChatGPT or another one I use. So it wasn't all that to me, but it was interesting what I found out in those test groups is people were saying, well, I have already decided I've given up my privacy just to be here, and not even thinking about it. But it, like we were saying, like I mentioned, how you being a woman, doing your car and so forth, and that has your receipts and all that in there. I don't want Meta reading those kinds of things that belong to me, that kind of stuff, and especially medical records and stuff like that. But it will go out when you read the terms of service and all of that. Privacy is, and you don't have the option to make it that private at this point.
Well, the thing is, so with ChatGPT, when it updates, you can actually go into the memory and have stuff removed. There's a way to go in. Like if I'm like when I was having my discussion about my car and I said, yes, send me the reminder speech. So it showed updated memory. So it's putting that in memory. Now, let's say I change my mind, then there's a way to go into your ChatGPT and go into the memory section and remove stuff, which I think is great. Plus, one of the things Dustin from Magi taught us about a month or two ago when he was here hanging out with us for a bit about how we can go into ChatGPT and turn off to make sure the privacy is turned on, that they had changed something. He was walking us through the steps. I would imagine. So are you saying with this new Facebook, the Meta, there's not a way to?
Right. Now, at the moment, there is not. That's the big gripe. And the problem is that once they're already in there, there's stuff there that's already stored. Wow. So, okay. Whoa. Had a little accident behind the scenes here. I hope you didn't hear that.
No.
But yeah, on what they have launched right now, I mean, they're working on it every day, but that was what the number one thing that we were all concerned about, is caching the memory and so forth, especially when you sign up and you see, I mean, you give it that permission, but the issue is it isn't a pause to give permission. Once you've said to go in there, it just flashes in front of your screen and then you're in. So that's not quite so simple.
Yeah.
But I love ChatGPT, so I hope they don't mess it up, because it just keeps getting better and better, and I don't.
Yeah, ChatGPT has been great. I'm loving it. I mean, this Meta AI, I'll probably check it out. There's an iOS app. There's also an Android app. I'll probably just play around with it. But I love ChatGPT, and I love all the stuff I do in Magi. I know these tools just keep coming out. Like, when will it end? I feel like we're already in overload. Let me ask you all this. I feel like Meta waited too long. I mean, you've had ChatGPT out for several years, like what, 2.5 years? You have all these others. Claude's been out a while, Gemini. What took Meta so long? And I guess because they're Meta, they can just catch up to everybody.
I mean, my thoughts is they've had it for a long time, and they've been working on it, and now they're bringing it out. That's my thought. Now it became more transparent, but I think they've been scraping our data we know they have.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people think, especially authors, we talked about that Atlantic article where you can go into the LibGen database to see if your books or articles or anything online that's been published is being used to train the Meta AI. And it is. So it's not even if you're on Meta, they're pulling your data. It's anything that's been published anywhere. So here's my question, I think, for Barb. Do you know that we learn to go into the settings so that our information cannot be shared and it cannot be used to train the AI? Do you know if there's a setting, Barb, in the Meta AI that allows for you to opt out?
I don't know. Pardon me. No, I know that it wasn't working when we were dealing with this yesterday, and it was only remember it was the 29th. So, and then I had that meeting yesterday. So it's brand new. So I imagine in the next 2 days, especially with what the dealings that Zuckerberg's having with the government right now, I don't think that's going to be too well liked that's happening. No. And so I think they're going to work very quickly to correct it. But they've been working behind the scenes on this for a long time, because he believes that, we're going to use the Ray-Ban glasses, and we're going to do away with computers and smart devices and just put the glasses on each day and have access to everything through the glasses. And so this product was formerly called MetaView. Mm-hmm. And it was in the Play Store, or your Apple, both of them. So they were testing it. We've been testing it for probably well into a year, folks are. But the whole thing for me, and I mean, it's how I met Madeline, it's about the community issue here. So if there's not the community has to be people. And on that vein, if I could just for a second, Madeline, this morning, remember I was telling you about what I discovered yesterday. Well, in my ballooning community, some of them, they don't understand about AI at all. And they're just, it's Facebook, right? And so they activated that AI in their groups. And so in the ballooning groups, it's the balloon buddy. is what they call it. And so this morning when I ran that test, I told you I got the 2,000 responses and all that on. The Balloon Buddy came in and made the first response 1 minute after I made my post, after my post hit that group, 1 minute later. And it was real obvious in what it provided me, like it from its viewpoint, from the Facebook viewpoint, it's trying to help me, but it drew from other public groups to give me that answer as well. So that's how like what Rachel said, they've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And so now they're pulling it all together and they're thinking, well, that's really sharp. Now we have all this, just like when Madeline and I called back, we have this memory to work on, ChatGPT, and we could pull it for ourselves. But this is laying out there public, when you have a public group, because I've always discouraged folks to have public groups. I said, you know, I'm always closing my groups down, permission only. So I'm excited. I'm so grateful to be alive. I think it's really cool, but I think I've put more into the ChatGPT at this point.
Yeah.
And I feel as risky as all that is, I feel more comfortable because of the way that it's been unfolding.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate your insights with this. Bez, what AI tool do you use primarily? Do you have a specific, you're using Magi, right? And AI,
Yes.
ChatGPT.
Magi, Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, but a lot of these I use through Magi, and I'm interested in this Facebook. I just, while we were talking, downloaded it because it's been bugging me to download, and so but then I went like through this path of setting up a device. I was like, I don't got no Wayfarers or Ray-Bans, and so I exit out. But yeah, I'll play around with it. But you guys were talking about communities or groups, right? You know what? Taking them to some place that you pay for, you control, is the way to go. I'm just I just opened up my Facebook app, and a Rotary page I set up years ago, it says it's been suspended, you know, and I'm like, what did I do? So I got to look into that. I'm done with all these. You're at the mercy of others. So yeah, make sure
that's why I use School. That's
Yeah.
exactly why I started School. I'll put it back on the screen because I have the control. You know, it used to be, it was all about Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups, which was great for a long time, but with the terms of service, it's harder to navigate with your content on there. Plus, a lot of people are just tired of Facebook. They have Facebook fatigue. They don't want to go into Facebook anymore. So if you have a group, a lot of people are just like, I'm not going to go there because I don't like Facebook anymore. What I did is I use School because I have the control. Now I have to pay for it. It's not free for me. I pay $99 a month, but it's worth it for me to have a place that I have all the control. So I can dictate the rules. I can do everything. And I love that. And I love having that power, especially for my passion project with my Kratom Stories podcast, being that it's a botanical and it's like this gray area. Facebook has gotten to the point that the word kratom, you can't even search for it on Facebook at all. If you search for it, nothing, which is ridiculous. So if you have a Facebook group over there, you know, you're screwed. But I saw the writing on the wall with these social media platforms have been so, with their terms, reading their terms of service and understanding that you know, if they don't like your content, they'll remove it. In some cases, they delete it. I mean, I've known people in that industry that have had vibrant YouTube accounts deleted, vibrant TikTok accounts deleted, Facebook pages and groups deleted with no control. You have no control. And it's a reminder, while we all love social media, we love using these platforms, it's a reminder that we get it for free, but we don't own it. And we don't own the content on there, and they can do whatever they want at any time. So I like having the control of, okay, a tech bro or a billionaire can't come dictate how I have my social media and AI shortcuts on the school platform. And I have one for my Kratom community too. I get to control all this, which is how platforms should be, really. I mean, it's a give and take. We're on Facebook. They're going to have our privacy information. We're the product, right? Because they have all of our data. And most of us are okay with it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be on there. But when it comes to community, I should be able to have a community of people on any platform and not be worried about the platform saying, "Oh, we don't like your content, so we're going to disable it." Not cool. Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm so frustrated with Facebook at this point because I create accounts for authors and then I create their author page or their book page, right? So for some reason, this whole week, I've been trying to create accounts for 2 of my authors who are actual people. They're not using pen names. The book is out and I keep getting declined by Facebook. The other thing they did that really pissed me off was, and I can't even imagine why, they took away my access to 2 pages that I created. So the pages are still there, but I can no longer access them. And no matter what I've tried to get them back, and they weren't huge pages, thank God, and they weren't client pages, they were mine, but they have so many like weird rules, like you can only like so many things, you can only follow so many people, and then they cut you off and say, okay, you're blocked from doing anything else today. And it's like, well, then why am I on your platform if I can't do what I need to do? It's so stupid.
Exactly. So that's why I think it is. And that's why platforms like School, there's Circle, there's even Patreon. I mean, there's different platforms now where you can have much more control. And most of them you'll have to pay for. And I was okay paying $99 a month to be able, because I mean, many of y'all know I've been building online communities since the 90s, and I utilize whatever tools are available at the time. In the 90s, it was email, and the Yahoo groups. It started off as like e-groups and then became Yahoo groups. And that was how you built communities back in the day, or the bulletin boards back,
Yeah, we went with the bulletin boards, then to Prodigy and AOL. Right. Those are proprietary networks. But then I went out with Cisco because we did it on the, each of the high-tech companies had their own private communities. So they, in effect, were pioneering that before what we had, these private communities that we have now, the players from back then. But I'm not, you've got 50 members in your group. You've had that for several months now. You have top quality content. We talk about it each week. And it is hard to get people to leave where they are.
Right.
And 2, it depends on who your target market is, because mine is international, and they all have different rules and regulations for what services they can access and what they can do. And so every year when I start out, I check to see who's on top, where are and still ChatGPT just 2 days ago said, nope, Facebook is still the #1 for online community building. And then gave me the actual numbers of what's been logging in active every day. So, you got to face, it's like, what is your purpose? What are you doing? And how you're making money on that. And these private platforms, when you pay that $100 a month, can you do multiple communities, or is that just this one?
No, it's per community. No, I could charge a membership fee for the members, but it's been so hard to get people on there. So I just decided.
Exactly. Well, Mari Smith, right?
Of course.
Because you're in her group too. Well, on hers, I'm in her Circle community. And the reason I had been in it when she first started it, and I went back because we were talking about the book that was just recently a bestseller, still on the bestseller list, Careless People, as you may recall. And she had a couple of posts on her Mari Smith group in Facebook and got them removed. And we said, okay, well, we're only going to talk about that in her other community. But you know how many followers she has, how many followers you have. And I mean, she doesn't have 100 people on there. So after all this time,
Yeah.
and it takes you only have so much time
Right.
yourself. And trying to actually, first establishing the group, rounding up folks that will help you build it, and then sustaining the group. They're very challenging steps to take. And I think the other big one right now is Substack, because you can get a lot more for free on there. But it all has to do with what you can. That's why the number one thing is you got to build a plan every single year and go over that right at the end of the year for your next year, to make it work for you. And it's like, if your audience is there, if you're just starting with new authors and stuff like that, what are they going to resonate with? And
Right.
typically what I have found, like authors, you have more time in life after 50 to be writing books than you do as a younger person.
Right.
And so you want to make it, whatever tools they're using, to be as easy as possible for them. So I don't
Absolutely.
know, but when you offered me to go to school, I said, I am through. I can help someone else build their community, but I have thriving communities on Facebook. I have compared to other folks when I'm in these Facebook things that are run, I clearly have more engagements in them, but to me, it's half of what it was.
Yeah.
And mine is also seasonal, because there is, ballooning events are in the summer months, spring, and in the fall, but not so much in the winter. And then we have half our world is the other way. I mean, it's winter in half our world right now, where and we're going into spring. But so I do have them all year round, but nothing like what I have here in the USA. And we still have the number one on that. So I don't know. I'm not leaving. Buenos dias to you too. We got, but I have, and I am not leaving Meta. But I do feel, as an older person, I'm being picked on. I mean, specifically, and it is an age thing. And not just, the younger people are using the different apps and so much, but relationships aren't with computers, they're with people. And so when you have these Facebook friends, I know who my people are. I didn't just say, oh, I've got to be an influencer and check something. I know about them. And now with ChatGPT, when someone asks me for friendship, oh, this is so cool. I just I put it in and I tell it what groups I belong to, because a lot of people don't know about the public groups versus private. Right. And then it's all about the keywords. If I'm ballooning, ballooning and Barb, you're going to find me. But the whole thing is where your audience is.
Right. Absolutely.
So I'm sending, I hope it's okay. I mean, I just said, I'm over with Madeline, you're over there. So.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you for doing that. Well, we have time for one more item that came out this week that's a big buzz about, and that's with Instagram. They have a new editing app. It's called Edits, and it's already hit like a crazy number of downloads, 7 million downloads in the first week, and they're saying that it has outpaced CapCut when it launched. CapCut's really popular for the TikTok crowd, and I guess Instagram crowd has been wanting their own app. So let me play this video from the Instagram CEO talking about it.
Edits is our new app for those of you who are passionate about making videos on your phone. If you use powerful desktop tools, this might not be for you. And if you're just posting videos of your life, this might not be for you. But if you really are passionate about making amazing, entertaining short-form video for platforms like Instagram, hopefully you're going to find Edits compelling. It has a lot of features that you already know from Instagram. It has insights and a timeline editing tool and the ability to do green screens and touch up. But what I'm really excited about is some of the things that aren't actually in the Instagram app. There's a new cutout AI model from our research team that allow you to extract a video or a piece of a video from a longer video, which is pretty wild to see. There's some new movie generation AI tools coming later this year. There is an inspiration tab where you can see reels with trending audio and hopefully get ideas for what you might want to create. There's actually an entire tab dedicated to your ideas where you can actually see everything that you save from Instagram and add notes or stickies for other ideas you might have before you're ready to commit to a full-blown project. We've been working really closely with creators on this for months, and we're excited to bring it to you. So let me know down below in the comments what features you'd like to see us bring to edits first and what you think if you download and try the app.
Has anybody here tried it yet? I haven't. I don't use Instagram a whole lot.
Nope.
Is that it, Bez? Is that what you're showing us? You're muted though.
Yeah, it's hard to talk when you're mute. I'm just downloading it now because I was like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to download that. So
that's cool. Okay. Well, why don't you check back with us next week and let us know what you think of the Meta AI app that you just downloaded, and then the Edits IG app, and because I'm definitely curious to hear about these apps and what people think of it. Yeah, Barb had to run. But yeah, I mean, I'm always interested because I don't really know if I want either one of those. I mean, for Meta, like I was saying earlier, I'm perfectly content with Magi and using ChatGPT directly. So like I'm covered with AI, and I don't feel like I need to even bother downloading Meta. That's just me. Not to say that's no good. I'm sure it's great. Just depends on what your needs are. And then for this with IG, I don't really use IG a lot. I mostly use TikTok, and even though TikTok has CapCut and everybody uses CapCut for TikTok editing, and now, Instagram has this editing tool, I'm old school. I've been doing this stuff before it was cool. So I already have an app I've been using forever called Video Shop. I absolutely love it. And so if there's any kind of editing I need to do on my phone, I'm just going to use that. So I don't even feel like it's something I even want to try. So I don't know. What Rachel, are you going to try that app?
I don't know. Probably not.
So this is the one I use. It's called Video. That orange one is called Video Shop.
That's awesome.
I love Video Shop. It's been out for a long time. So it's, you get used to an app, right?
Yeah.
So I was already editing my videos on my phone with that app years ago, before TikTok, before Instagram Reels, maybe in the early days of Instagram Reels, but they didn't have, easy editing. And so it was just a tool that I love, and I'm so used to it. So, I tried CapCut. I wanted to like CapCut. I did, because everybody raves about it. And I just don't like it. It's just me. I don't like it. But also a reminder to everybody, if TikTok goes away, and it still could, that's still hanging over us, CapCut is owned by the same company. If TikTok goes, so will CapCut.
Ooh.
So if you rely on CapCut, this is just a public service announcement.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen in
Sure.
the end, but if you're used to using CapCut and you're all about CapCut, and I know a lot of people are, if ByteDance goes away with the whole TikTok thing because they won't sell, which it can happen, it's the same company. Like, if you can no longer download and use TikTok, it'll be the same thing with CapCut. If anybody remembers when TikTok did go away for a while and you couldn't download the app in the App Store, CapCut was gone too. So I'm just putting it out there. I mean, if I was using CapCut, I would just do a wait and see, but I would also be prepared. Like, okay, maybe I should go try Instagram's editing tool because it's a standalone app. Or check out the Video Shop that I use, or go into the App Store and see what are the most popular video editing tools, and just
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. There's a bunch that are AI. Is that what CapCut is? Okay.
So, well, no. I think CapCut can incorporate some AI stuff.
Yeah.
Now, a great AI video editing tool is not an app. Is for desktop is Opus Clip, which I've talked about here. It's been a while since I've talked about it, but if anybody here has not tried Opus Clip, let me go pull up their site. It is one of the best tools I've ever used, but it's not for doing it on mobile is the thing. It's not a mobile thing. So let me, this is a desktop thing, but what's so cool about Opus Clip is that you can is really to take your long form video, but don't be like I can take a 10-minute video I have, or a 5-minute video, but you basically Like, let's say I wanted to have clips for social media of this live stream. So you have a choice. You can either upload the video or just pop in the YouTube link. It can do it from the YouTube link. And what it's going to do using AI, it's going to automatically generate 20 to usually 25 to 30 based on AI, and for help things that they feel will go viral using AI, it will just clip them up. And it'll give you like all this info. You can go in and edit them too. Like you can either use it as is, or I'm like, you know what? I like what it put together, but I want to delete a little. Like I don't want that first sentence I say. So I can go in and I can literally just delete the words, the transcript part, and it'll delete it in the video. It's so
that's
cool.
good.
And it's a real time saver. So prior to a tool like Opus Clip, what you had to do was you have your video, you go and make your own clips. It's very time consuming because you got to first think about, well, what parts, like with today, let's say I want to go back and make some, TikTok and YouTube short clips or Instagram reels from today's chat. Now I got to go back and watch the whole video of this to like, well, wait a minute. Where did we talk about Magi? Where did we talk about Gamma? I want to do a little blurb about Gamma. I got to go back and find like, where did we start it and where did we end it? Now I got to go open up an editing app and I got to like trim it up. And it's a lot of work, right? But with Opus Clip, I literally just send the file, and in about 10 minutes or so, sometimes less, it spits out up to 30 that's already like gone through using AI and figured out here are the best, like a best of. And I can go through, and usually when I go through that long list of them, I usually find at least 5 of them that are good, that like, okay, that was a good thing we talked about. Oh, here's something else we talked about that was good. So if anybody here has not tried Opus Clip, highly recommend it. My direct link is my bit.ly link. Try Opus Clips. Highly recommend it.
Is it free?
I'm trying to remember. Is there a free trial? Hi, Angel. Good to see you. We're wrapping up, though. We're going to be stopping in a minute. I'm trying to remember. I'm paying for it because I fell in love with it. But I think, do they do a free trial? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So they had the, you pick a plan and you do the free trial with no credit card. I love that. So I think I'm on the pro plan. But yeah, so what I did is I did the free trial because I kept hearing about it, and anybody that uses Opus Clip, they rave about it. So I finally let me just do the free trial and see what the fuss is about. Immediately, I'm like, whoa, this saves me so much time. If I use this, it's a huge time saver. So I just went ahead and bought an annual account, and it's been worth it for me. It is so worth it. So it's just a thought if you're looking for a real time saver, but it's not a mobile app. I imagine you could do it on your phone through the browser. I'm not 100% sure, but I use this on my computer when I'm using it. So just a thought. We need to wrap up because we've already gone over an hour and I got to do other things, but I love getting together with y'all each week. I missed the last couple of weeks. I've had a lot going on. I was out of town last week in Washington, D.C. Let me, I can put an image on the screen now. They have this new feature on StreamYard. Let me see if I can pop up an image from what I was doing. I have a cool picture I can show from last week. So, y'all know I do all this stuff, but I also have my passion project. I'm very involved in the kratom community. It's just a plant, it's a botanical that helps me with my chronic pain issues. And I like to volunteer and do all I have a podcast, I host a live stream, I do all this stuff, community builder, all the stuff I normally do. And it's just something I'm very passionate of, just spreading information and helping people. So last week, the reason why I wasn't here is because I was over on Capitol Hill. So that's me wearing my cool shirt. Kratom gave me my life back. It's just a plant. And on the backside, let me see if I can get the picture on the backside because y'all know I'm a marketer. So I got to do some marketing when I'm walking around. Let me see if I can get the backside because the backside is just fire. Let me see if I can. It's just this new feature in StreamYard where we can actually put in individual images. It's pretty cool because they didn't have an easy way to do that before. Okay, I can't. I'll have to just put it up and see if this is the right one. It's hard to tell. Oh, it's not a JPEG. Oh, well, that's not good. Sometimes with the iPhone. Oh, wait, here's one. Okay, I found it. Okay, here's the backside of that shirt. I have a QR code. It goes right to my Kratom Stories podcast website.
Oh my goodness.
Am I a good marketer or what?
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Did you testify somewhere?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say ChatGPT helped me figure out what to say in the shirt. I had all these ideas and I
love
used ChatGPT to help me kind of, because I'll have lots of ideas, but I sometimes need help with just like, all right, Madeline, let's bring it down to earth, let's formulate and let's put this together. And so I wanted, something powerful in the front, something powerful in the back. And with it saying, "Hear how Kratom changes lives," then the lady that does the shirts for me, she wanted to put the QR code. I'm like, yes. And she was able to figure out how to go get a QR code on her own. I was so thrilled. So yeah, I'm walking around and people can literally just take a picture. Yeah, I was last Wednesday of last week, I was over on Capitol Hill, there it is right behind me, talking about Kratom. There's going to be a bill coming out in Congress soon for a federal Kratom Consumer Protection Act to make sure that, it's safe, legal, all the things with this plant. It's not like cannabis or THC. It doesn't get you high or anything like that, but it's been an amazing plant I discovered 6 years ago for my chronic pain, and it's worked far better than pharmaceuticals ever did. And I'm just glad I happened to stumble upon it. So I feel like it's my mission to help spread awareness for it. And we had the ability to go and meet with legislative staff. The legislators were out of session last week, but we were able to get appointments with staff and go meet with them. And I had some great meetings wearing that shirt there. So it was a great experience. It was my second time to do that. So it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I went. So that's why I didn't have the live stream here last week. I was out advocating, volunteering and doing this for something I'm very passionate about.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of advocating because if you don't, then nobody else will.
100%. And that's exactly why I do that, because just the abbreviated version, because I got to go in a minute, is I was in pain management for 9 years. I have degenerative disc disease in my neck and back. You can't tell because I'm not suffering at the moment because of this plant, kratom. But yeah, I've suffered a lot with is very debilitating pain I've had to live with for a long time. And while I tolerated pharmaceuticals fine, there's still a lot of side effects and stuff. Plus the government doesn't like people taking them, and it's gotten harder and harder to get them prescribed. And it got to the point where I couldn't really get them prescribed, and doctors don't want to do the prescriptions. They get in trouble too much for helping people. It's so ridiculous. So that's like a whole separate conversation about how the government thinks their war on drugs is working, and it's not. What they're doing these days is putting chronic pain patients in the crossfire and making us suffer more. So thank God I just happened to discover this plant. Works great for me. And so I'm like, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to do all these things. So it's just something I do on the side because I love doing it. What's that?
Well, while we're here,
Is that
I
the app?
made the edits app from Instagram.
Yeah.
So I recorded the screen, I recorded myself, and then I put some music, like good energy, that
Nice.
song. And then I put all your names at the top, pick
How
a
fun.
color.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I'm going to share to Instagram, and I'll try to tag you guys, even though,
Can you put the
Instagram
X?
is,
Also, can you post on X too? And
yeah, it's a
tag us
video,
there?
so I could post it on X
Yeah,
too.
post on X and tag, because I still don't go into Instagram that much and I'll forget. I want to see it though.
That's
So that's just
great.
so you did that in that new Instagram
Yeah.
edits
I recorded
app.
what's in front of me, and then I
Right.
turned it on me and smiled, and then I just
That's so
put
cool.
some
Oh, I
music.
can't wait
Yeah,
to see it. Okay.
That's awesome.
yeah.
But
Something.
if you use it more in the next week, report back next week and let us know what you think of it.
All of a sudden, I'll be a junkie and I'll be going around the house recording everything.
You're the IG junkie.
I can't even take a picture of my wife because she says, "Don't post that. You have to have approval from me." And I'm like, so if you see me like all alone, I'm there's my other half is very private.
Gotcha. No
I get
worries.
that.
No worries. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all joining us today and being part. It's always a great conversation we have each week and always interesting stuff to talk about. So we'll do it again next Thursday. So y'all be sure to come join. And for those of you watching, mark your calendar next Thursday. We do this every Thursday, 1:00 Eastern for an hour, and always learning new things. It's so cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, y'all. See y'all next week. Have a great rest of your
Bye.
day.
Adios. Hey, remember 5